Good afternoon and welcome to the Lincoln City Council meeting of October 3rd, 2022. In accordance with LB 898, please be advised that a copy of the Open Meeting Act is posted at the back of the chamber by the northwest door. Before we rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please know that today's silent meditation is going to be in honor and memory of Tom Lorenz, who passed away this last weekend. So let us all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a silent meditation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The order of business of the City Council is as follows. The clerk will call the items listed on the agenda under public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on an item should come forward after the clerk reads that item. The council shall require any member of the public desiring to address the council to identify themselves, the name of an organization or group, including an address that you may be representing by such person or group, unless the address requirement is waived to protect the security of the individual. The applicant may then make one short rebuttal. Each speaker should begin by stating their name, address, organization or group, and whether you are speaking in favor of or in opposition to this item. Testimony is limited to 5 minutes per speaker. After all public hearings, the council will vote on the resolutions and items listed under third reading. On the second and last Mondays of the month, immediately prior to adjournment, anyone may speak on any issue not on the agenda for that date, nor plan for a future agenda. Will the clerk please call the first item of business?
Our first item of business today is a few meeting notices. Due to the Columbus Indigenous Peoples holiday, City Council will not meet on October 10th, 2022. City Council meeting for Monday, October 24th, 2022 will also start at 5:30 p.m. with public comment that evening. And the City Council meeting for Monday, October 31st of 2022 will start at 3 p.m. Next on our agenda today is going to be the consent agenda, sections 1 and 2.
Please come forward if you'd like to. Welcome, Ms. Seibel. How are you?
Hello, good. Nice to see you all.
Nice to see you as well.
Well, it's always my privilege to come before you and talk about a new appointment to the Community Health Endowment Trust Board of Trustees. We're always grateful to the mayor and the mayor's office and her staff for our help in doing this. You know, one of the things that are in our bylaws is that we are required to have certain members on our board. And one of the areas we were particularly interested in this year was someone who had deep knowledge of public health and of the medical community, and we certainly have that candidate in front of you today. Dr. Michael Ferris is a longtime Lincoln resident. He's also been in private practice. He has deep relationships with our local hospitals, and he's also been a leader at the Lancaster County Medical Society, who I know sent a letter of high regard to you for his nomination. So I'd like him to say a few words, but thank you for considering his nomination.
Welcome, Dr. Ferris.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you all for your consideration. It's an honor to be considered for this board. I remember when it was first established, shortly after I came to Lincoln in practice, and the goal that was set to make Lincoln the healthiest community in our country, I think has made great strides. And you always backfill with needs once those goals are met, but they have been very instrumental in our community, and again, it's an honor for me to be here. I have served in this medical community for a long time. I'm now retired, fortunately, but I served in private practice for quite a number of years. I served in hospital administration at St. Elizabeth as well. I've sat on Blue Stem Health Board, Lincoln Community Foundation, and hopefully with your approval, I'll be able to sit on the Community Health Endowment Board.
Thank you very much.
I did want to add one thing, and that is just to thank you. I do have a list of the current board members if you would like to have a chance to look at that, as well as a copy of our most recent annual report. And I do want to mention that the person who position will be vacant shortly here is Kathy Campbell. And Kathy has served the board 6 years, and we were incredibly grateful to have her on our board as well.
Very good. We appreciate that. Yes, thank you. That's great. Thank you. Are there any questions for either Lori Seibel or Dr. Ferris from the council or comments?
No questions, just a big thank you.
Yeah, we're grateful. Yes, thank you for coming forward. And thank you as well, Lori. Okay, we can move on. Oh,
Hi, hello everybody. I'm Mairead. Mairead Zafranik. I'm here representing the Telecommunications Cable Television Advisory Board to introduce our candidate, Timothy Klein. Tim is currently the Director of Information Technology Services for Lincoln Public Schools. We are really excited that he's willing to serve the city in this way. We believe he will bring a lot of insight into network operations and management.
Mr. Klein, welcome.
Thanks. In my time working with franchisees, listed Allo, Windstream, Spectrum, I've really come to enjoy the communication, the relationships I have with them, and hopefully I can bring something to the board in that way. And I'm just excited to serve the city of Lincoln.
Very good. Welcome. Thank you for saying yes. Are there questions or comments from the council?
No,
Mr.
just another
Klein?
thank you. Thank you, Tim.
Comments, actually.
Thank you very much. All right, Madam Clerk, we can move on.
We can now vote on these items. Item 1A is appointing Michael Ferris to the Community Health Endowment Board of Trustees for a term to expire September 12th, 2025, introduced by Shob.
So moved.
Second?
Seconded by Raybold. Further discussion? Seeing none? None?
Just a
Councilman
yay.
Sharp? Okay. Please call the vote.
Beckius,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yeah.
Raybold,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Shob,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0. Item 1B is appointing Tim Klein to the Telecommunication Cable Television Advisory Board for a term to expire October 3rd, 2025, introduced by Beckius.
So moved.
Second?
Seconded by Washington. Further discussion? Seeing none, please call the vote.
Beckius,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Raybold,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Shob,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0. Item 1C is approving a professional services agreement supplement number 3 between the city and JEO Consulting Group, Inc. for the Lincoln Beal Slough Trail, introduced by Beckius.
So moved.
Second?
Seconded by Raybold. Further discussion? Seeing none, please call the vote.
Washington,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Raybold,
Yes.
Shob,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Beckius,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0. Item 1D is investment activity report for quarter ending August 31st, 2022, introduced by Bowers.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded by Beckius. Discussion? Seeing none, please call the vote.
Beckius,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Raybold,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Shob,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0. Items 2A through 2D was introduced by Shob.
So moved.
Second?
Seconded by Washington. Discussion? Seeing none, please call the vote.
Washington,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Raybold,
Yes.
Shob,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Beckius,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0. Okay, that concludes our consent agenda. We shall move on to section 4, which is our public hearing liquor resolution. I'll be calling items 4A and 4B together. Application of MV Nail Spa, South Point LLC, doing business as M. Vince Nail Spa for Class I liquor license located at 2900 Pine Lake Road, Suite H, and the related manager application of Morgan Goering.
That's correct.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth as you verily believe it to be?
Yes,
Thank you very much.
my pleasure. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Morgan Gurung. I'm the operating and managing partner for the M. Vince Nail Spa at South Point Pavilions. This is going to be our second location. We have another location in Omaha at One Pacific Place. My background is hospitality. I have been in the hospitality industry for over 20 years. I managed Hilton, Marriott, and Hyatt properties prior to this. And then my wife said that enough with the corporate business now. You're gonna work for me. In the past, I used to have a lots of reports coming to me, and now I report to my wife.
She likes that, right?
Oh, yes, indeed.
Thank you for being here.
I think it's my pleasure.
Are there questions for our applicant or comments? All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be calling item 4C and 4D together. Application of Itsumo Inc., doing business as Masa Sushi for a Class I liquor license located at 1701 Pine Lake Road, Suite 7, and the related manager application of Lixia Wu. Do you solemnly swear the the testimony you're about to give is the truth as you verily believe it to be?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we have a several restaurant in Lincoln, downtown Lincoln, so we like to open one in Southside. So we pick one. That's fine.
Very good. Would you please state your name and address for the record, sir?
Yeah, my name is Hui, H-U-I.
Okay.
Yep. And Lixia Wu is my wife. She's picking up my daughter. So.
Very good.
Yep.
Okay. Are there questions or comments for our applicant? No? All right. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Next, I'll be calling item 4E, manager application of Rock J. Amon for Mochara LLC, doing business as Cliff's Martini Lounge located at 5310 South 56th Street, Suite 1.
Is there anyone here that would like to comment on this application? Item 4E. Okay. All right. Seeing none, Madam Clerk, we can move on.
Madam Chair, I'd like to take the microphone and take this moment to move that we approve items 4A through 4E.
Second.
Seconded by Raybold. Discussion. Seeing none, please call the vote.
Bowers.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
Raybold.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Schob.
Yes.
Beckius.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0.
All right.
That concludes our section 4 of our council agenda. We shall move on to section 5. Item 5A, under public hearing resolutions, establishing the property tax levy to fund the adopted budget for the city's 2022-23 fiscal year.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Chairwoman Ward and members of the council. My name is Lynn Heaton, Director of the City Finance Department, 555 South 10th Street. As you know, your agenda today includes this resolution for adoption of the final property tax levy to fund the council-adopted budget for the city's 2022-23 fiscal year. For the benefit of the folks in the chamber and the viewing audience, on August 1st, 2022, the council held a public hearing for the purpose of receiving input a public hearing for the purpose of receiving input on the then proposed 2022-2024 biennial budget, which included a number of amendments considered and added to the budget by the council members. The FY 2022-23 budget included in budget resolution number A93536 provided for the 2022-23 levy rates included in this resolution before the council today. The approved budget lowered the rate to 31.293 cents per $100 of assessed value. After considering public input on August 22nd, 2022, the council passed the 2022-2024 City of Lincoln biennial budget by a majority vote. That budget went into effect at the start of our fiscal year, September 1st. Now, today, pursuant to the charter of the City of Lincoln and Nebraska Revised Statute Section 77-1632, the council is to set the final levy rate to match the approved 2022-23 budget. With that, on behalf of the Finance Department's budget team, Sherry and her team, I'd like to thank you all for your work on the budget this past several months.
Thank you, Director. Are there questions or comments for Director Heaton? All right.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you. All right, we can move on. Is there anyone else present that would like to comment on this item at this time? All right, seeing none, we can move on.
We can now vote on this item. Item 5A is establishing the property tax levy to fund the adopted budget for the city's 2022-23 fiscal year, introduced by Beckius.
So moved.
Second?
Seconded by Raybold. Further discussion? Councilman McGinnis?
Yeah, most of you know I wasn't I didn't vote for the total budget in the first place, so I don't believe we need this type of mill levy to support that budget.
Other comments? Councilwoman Raybold.
I am really proud to do my ministerial duty as spelled out very clearly in the charter to vote in support of this property tax rate.
Any other comments or discussion? Okay, all right. Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Washington,
Yes.
Raybold,
Yes.
Schob,
Yes.
McGinnis,
No.
Bowers,
Yes.
Beckius,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-1. That concludes our Section 5 public hearing resolutions. We shall move on to Section 6, our public hearing ordinances, second reading, and related resolutions. Item 6A, approving the lease agreement between the City of Lincoln and City of Hickman for a lease space by Aging Partners for its senior center program at 115 Locust Street, Hickman, Nebraska, from September 1st, 2022 through August 31st of 2024.
Welcome, Director Jones. I hope you're
Thank you.
feeling better.
I'm feeling a lot better, thank you. I had COVID for a little bit, so.
Yes, we heard. Good. We're glad to
Anyway,
see you back.
Thank you. Randy Jones, Director of
Aging Partners.
Aging Partners. It's COVID.
Director of COVID.
COVID hangover. Anyway, the next three resolutions before you are leases for our rural senior centers. They're 2-year leases, and this is the last grouping of leases that I'll come before you with for a couple years.
Okay, very good. Questions or
Questions?
comments for Director Jones on
Thank
the
you.
leases? All right, thank you very much. Your mask is still at the podium if you would
Yes.
like it. You may need it in the days ahead.
May
All
call the
right,
next one,
okay.
too.
Anyone else present that would like to comment on these items?
Calling them all together.
All right.
I still need to read item 6B and
Yes.
6C together.
Thank you.
Okay. Item 6B is approving the lease agreement between the City of Lincoln and Village of Firth Community Center for the lease of space by Aging Partners for its senior center program at 311 Nemaha, Firth, Nebraska, from September 1st, 2022 through August 31st of 2024. And also item 6C is approving a lease agreement between the City of Lincoln and Waverly VFW for the lease of space by Aging Partners for its senior center program at 13820 Guildford Street, Waverly, Nebraska, from October 1st, 2022 through August 31st of 2024. Next, I'll be calling item 6D, amending the pay schedule for a certain employee group by adjusting the schedules of annual, monthly, biweekly, and hourly pay range equivalents for employees of the City of Lincoln whose classifications are assigned to pay ranges prefixed by W.
Welcome, Director McIntyre.
Yeah, Barb McIntyre, Human Resources Director, 555 South 10th Street. So this pay plan got reworked to create a gap between what was a 1 and a 2, a W1 and a W2. That 2 was created for the police lieutenant classification to reflect the data we needed and the pay range we needed in order to create an appropriate compensation level for the lieutenants. It did give us an opportunity to really rework this, and when we did that, we wanted to make sure that we had a 45% spread between the minimum and maximums, and then a 12% spread between each of those different levels, so it really became a consistent pay plan. So we did all that work as part of this project.
Thank you. Any questions, comments for Director McIntyre on this? 6D.
6D or
Yep.
6?
6D. Right. Okay.
I'll be reading item 6E, amending the pay schedule for the employee group whose classifications are assigned to the pay range prefixed by the letter W by creating the classifications of Human Resources Manager and Police Lieutenant.
Yep, these are together, and
Yes.
partner come up and speak.
Yes, okay.
Yes, we'll
Thank
tag
you.
team.
Yes, Chief, thank you for
Teresa
being present.
Ewens, Chief of Police, Lincoln. Oh, 575 10th Street. Is that all I need to do? Okay. All right. So, as previously discussed, one of the things and the importance of a lieutenant is the fact that it is about supervision and it is about giving the support to our officers.
We've discussed this a lot over the year that I've been here. Right now, if we were to wait, I've asked that we vote today, mainly because we have a process in place in which if it's delayed because of the holiday, then it really puts everything at a stop. And so what we want to do, the union has been very nice to change the annual bid for our officers. If we don't, we're going to have to push it out more, and they're going to have to redo the bid. And that is not something that we should do because it completely disrupts service to the communities. The other thing is, the outside organization that is going to be giving the test, we have been moving forward with them. It would also have to be stopped because they have a time schedule and they only have a certain amount of dates in order to give the test, but there's a lot of work to be done. Since it is an outside group that's doing it, bringing in outside assessors, things like that have to be done. So it all has to be planned. And so I do ask that if we could vote today on that, then I'd really appreciate it.
Questions for either Chief Ewens or Director McIntyre on this item? Councilwoman Washington.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Chief Ewens, either you or Director McIntyre, if you would just take a moment and explain to the community what the benefit of having this lieutenant position is.
Yeah, so, we used to have a lieutenant's position years ago, and, a lot of times what happens when the economy is not so great, they cut different positions and they try to make it work. We need to not try to make it work. We need to have clear delineation between the ranks because it is about support to our officers. It is getting the service to the community. It's about accountability, transparency, all the things that we always talk about. And that lieutenant is that in between in building a department as well. It gives officers, instead of going from sergeant to captain, which you can ask anybody in any organization, that is a big jump. The responsibilities are huge. They're not even close to being the same. And so a stepping stone up to lieutenant and then captain really gets us to where we need to be for the future and us building this organization. The organization is going to grow as the city grows. And so we need to make sure that there is a structure in place with clear supervision and guidance for our members.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All right. Okay, yeah, Councilwoman Raybould.
I'm wondering, may I make a motion at this time?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we suspend the rules on item 6E so that we can vote today because it is time sensitive in light of the bid process that the chief knows we have to move forward on.
Second.
Moved by Raybould and seconded by Washington to suspend the rules to vote on item 6E. Any discussion on this motion? We do so. All right. Seeing none on the motion, Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Raybould?
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
Ward?
Yes.
Tobe?
Yes.
Beckius?
Yes.
McGinnis?
Yes.
Bowers?
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0.
Very good.
Thank you.
And I make a motion that we approve item 6E.
Second?
Seconded by Beckius. Any further discussion? All right. Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Raybould?
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
Shob?
Yes.
McGinnis?
Yes.
Bowers?
Yes.
Beckius?
Yes.
Ward?
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0.
Great. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
I'll be calling item 6F, amending the pay schedule for the employee group whose classifications are assigned to the pay range prefixed by the letter C by creating the classification of Unmanned Aircraft Systems Coordinator.
So this person is in place today and they are doing this work. And what we really want to do is acknowledge the work being done and move them into this position of Unmanned Aircraft System Coordinator. And if you want to speak to the importance of that for your department.
Thank you. Liz Elliott, Director of Lincoln Transportation and Utilities, 555 South 10th Street. The drone industry is a fairly young industry, and it's something that's up until real recently has been primarily done by consultant consulting firms. It's something that we contract out more and more on our projects. We also use it out at the landfill for volumetrics, those types of things. After kind of seeing the efficiencies we can gain, the additional work and information that we can gain, we decided to develop an in-house program. So we launched our UAS program, or drone program, as most of us know it as, in February of 2021. We were able to do our first UAS inspection 2 months later. It's a big program that we're just taking baby steps. So right now, what the uses are that we have currently used is we've done some GPS mapping of our facility and assets that gives us more accurate GPS than the methods that we're using today. We're also using it to monitor traffic. It's much easier to see the high-level perspective, the bird's eye view that we don't see down in the weeds, down at the street level. So that has helped us with some traffic management flow. We're also able to create 3D models, which is allowing not only the planners, but also stakeholders to see our plans and our projects and our facilities from a different all-around view. The other big thing that we've just completed is looking at erosion control along our water main distribution line from Ashland to Lincoln. Historically, what we would do is someone drove and said, oh, I think that looks the same as last year, or maybe went back. So now what we can do is we flew the drone the entire way. We'll be able to fly that exact same route next year and the year after and continue to see through actual imaging rather than someone's memory of, wow, that really is eroding more than we thought. So there's going to be more and more uses of this. It's something we're just learning and getting into, but eventually we will add LiDAR, infrared detections that will help with the concrete and asphalt condition management, those types of things. And then eventually maybe getting into the volumetrics that out at the landfill and other places. So we're excited. The other good thing about this is it will save safety. So we also use it on our water towers where we have to go up and annually inspect. And instead of someone going up there or our bridges and harnesses to look, we can just fly the drone, get a closer look, faster, and keep everybody down on the ground where it's safer for everyone.
Okay, questions, comments for Director Elliott on the drones?
Sure.
What you got,
Director Elliott, are you sure that we couldn't just get teenage volunteers to do these jobs? Because they sound fun and really cool, and I feel like there's some money savings here, maybe.
It would be, and the software and stuff. Whoever is into computers and gaming would love this, and it's a perfect field.
There we go.
I feel like there's a whole new career opportunity opening up for.
It is going to be a whole new career area in the future. Right now, it's just one individual with the support of the engineers working on particular projects, but I do see this 5-10 years down the road being a much bigger. It's something NDOT does have, so we were able to lean on Barb's experience there with the classification and everything, so that was hugely beneficial.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Washington.
Well, I look forward to seeing the Career Academy curricula for this program. Anything that helps kids who are wanting to take a different path, let's get them the training.
It's exciting.
Very good. Any other questions, comments? All right. Thank you both very much. We can move on.
Item 6G is amending the pay schedule for the employee group whose classifications are assigned to the pay range prefixed by the letter W by changing the title from Transit Manager to Assistant Director of Transit.
All right, Liz Elliott, Director of Lincoln Transportation Utilities. As you know, we do have a vacancy in the Transit Manager position. This was a good opportunity for us to review and assess this position. One of the uniqueness of this position is that our current Assistant Director of Utilities and Assistant Director of Transportation are actually at a higher level than our Transit Manager. And so what I wanted to make sure that we do is elevate StarTran. It's the same importance as our other two divisions, make it the same level and reflect that Assistant Director of Transit. It also does make the pay aligned with the other two Assistant Directors of Lincoln Transportation and Utilities. I do also believe that this will help us recruit and find great talent for this position. So if this position is approved, the next steps then will be to do a national search and get this job posted.
Questions for Director Elliott? Councilman Beckius?
So this would be on par with Ms. Garden and Mr. Schaefer's positions?
That is correct.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Councilwoman Washington?
Thank you, Madam. Madam Chair, pardon me. So this job, I mean, when you bring it on par, and I certainly understand the reason to do so, is significantly more expensive than the previous salary range. And so I'm just curious, was this part of the budget that you envisioned when you brought us that budget a couple of months ago?
It was, yes. This was one of the changes that we anticipated making, and it is built into the budget that was approved.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions? All right. Seeing none, we can move on. Thank you very much, both of you.
That concludes our section 6. We shall now move on to section 7, ordinances third reading and related resolutions. Item 7A is text amendment 22006, request of City of Lincoln Planning Department to amend Lincoln Municipal Code sections 26.23.140 lot and 26.27.005 general requirements to provide that the planning director may waive certain requirements to allow lot subdivisions for non-standard use by amending chapter 27.61 non-conforming and non-standard uses to add a new section numbered 27.61.110 to allow subdivision of a lot with 2 or more non-standard dwellings to create separate lots for each structure for non-standard use, and repealing sections 26.23.140 and 26.27.005 as hereto existing, introduced by Washington.
So moved.
Second?
Seconded by Raybold. Any discussion? Seeing none, please call the vote.
Washington,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Raybold,
Yes.
Schob,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Beckius,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0. Item 7B is amending Lincoln Municipal Code Section 10.34.030, parking fees and time limits to add Martin Luther King Jr. Day, President's Day, Juneteenth, and Veterans Day to the holidays in which no fee will be imposed for parking, and repealing Section 10.34.030 of the Lincoln Municipal Code as hereto existing, introduced by Washington.
So moved.
Second?
Seconded by Beckius. Further discussion? Seeing none, please call the vote.
Bowers,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Raybold,
Yes.
Schob,
Yes.
Beckius,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0. That concludes section 7 of our agenda. Section 8 is resolutions first readings, items 8A through 8C. Section 9 is ordinances first reading and related resolutions are items 9A through 9N.
Madam Chair?
Yes, you're
I'd like to take
recognized.
this, thank you. I'd like to take this moment to make a motion that we move items 9E, Resolution 22-179, and item 9F, Resolution 22-180, to the pending no date certain list.
Second?
It's been moved by Councilman Schob and seconded by Raybold to move items 9E and 9F to pending no date certain. Is there any further discussion? All right, seeing none, please call the vote.
Raybold,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Schob,
Yes.
Beckius,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0.
Okay.
That concludes our agenda.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Seconded by McGinnis. It's been moved by Raybold and seconded by McGinnis to adjourn. Do we discuss that?
No.
I
Nope.
didn't think so. Please call the vote. What's there to discuss?
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Schob,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Beckius,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes,
Motion carried 7-0.
we are adjourned.